I've been in the insurance industry for over 10 years now, and I've been able to scale my brokerage to six figures in two different markets. One of those is the business owner market, and the other one is the family owner market. However, I've made so many mistakes along the way, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you my top six biggest mistakes that prevented me from scaling to six figures. And by the end of this video, you will know how to avoid them so you can scale to six figures, in half the time that it took me. So like I said, I've been in the insurance industry for over 10 years now. I got started in 2014, and I started for a captive company where they just had their set of products that I could work with. And I was with them for about a year to a year and a half. I left them and started as an independent insurance broker, which I still am to this day. And, when I first went out on my own, I did the classic mistake that everyone does, which is, sell to all your friends and family and just try and sell anything to anybody without any clear direction or any clear market that I serve or how I serve them. And over the years, I have been able to build a six-figure business, like I mentioned, both in the business owner market, which I did from 2016 to 2020. And then when COVID happened and all of the face-to-face and the seminars and the door knocking and the cold calling, and well, I guess cold calling you could still do, but all of the face-to-face interactions were shut down. I needed to pivot into something else, which is when I started digital marketing and social media. And then I was able to scale my brokerage to six figures, 100% online, using social media and digital marketing. However, I've made so many mistakes along the way, and I'm going to get into them here. I'm just reading from my list, starting with the number one mistake that I made. And this is something that I made actually in the business owner market, which was not being clear with who I served and how I served them. So luckily, I'm not the only advisor that makes this mistake. I see it all the time when I look on LinkedIn or Facebook or websites or anything like that. But basically, what I was doing is I was hiding what I did. It's like I was nervous to tell people that I was a financial advisor or an insurance broker, that I worked in financial services. So I tried to mask it behind like some fancy facade or something. And so when I was working in the business owner market, instead of saying, hey, yep, I sell life insurance, or I design life insurance strategies for corporations and business owners that are looking, to pass more down to their children or pass more down to the next generation or have some tax efficient transfer of wealth or whatever it is. Instead of saying that, I would try and wrap it up in this whole multidisciplinary tax approach. And I can't even remember what I said, but, I would say I'm part of a multidisciplinary firm that, works with business owners to achieve tax strategies through, various different disciplines. And I don't even know what I said, but it was so complicated and so unclear of what I did and who I actually served that it took me years and years and years to get any business. And if I just would have been clear with who I serve and how I serve them, I could have said, hey, I provide life insurance services for business owners, and I design corporate life insurance policies to help business owners transfer their wealth or get more out of retirement or get more tax strategies or something along those lines. If I was more transparent with what I did, I think I would have crushed it and got way more business. And fast forward to 2020 and moving forward, my LinkedIn was very simple, and my bio for many, many, many years was just, I sell life insurance. That was it. I sell life insurance. And that gained so much traction. I had so many people actually just come to me and be like, hey, this is so refreshing. You sell life insurance? I need life insurance. That's great. So, that was one of the bigger mistakes that I made. I think I was just trepidatious of telling people that I worked in the insurance industry. There's some negative connotation that goes along with the financial services industry. And I wanted to be, I didn't want to be viewed as an insurance professional for whatever reason. And I didn't want to tell people, oh, I just sell insurance, maybe because I didn't value my services. However, that cost me dearly in the early years. So be transparent with what you do and who you serve. Mistake number two was trying to sell everything to everybody. So here's the thing. At least from 2016, to 2020, even though I wasn't transparent with what I was doing, I did have a specific niche that I was targeting. So specifically, I was going after business owners that were doing over seven figures in gross revenue. And even though I didn't actually tell them what I was doing, I was multidisciplinary and I had tax strategies and blah, 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 and I wasn't clear on that, at least I had a specific niche. Fast forward to 2020, when I started my online brokerage where I use social media and digital marketing, and I created this online application through my brokerage, I started to try and target everyone. So it was just, hey, if you're a Canadian, if you're a family, if you need life insurance, go here. And while I did get some clients that way, it was very difficult. It was an uphill battle. And I did a ton of marketing, YouTube videos, Google, SEO, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. I put so much work out there for such little results. And then in 2021, I started to come up with a niche group that I actually really enjoy working with, which is the mountain sports enthusiast market, because I'm myself a rock climber, ice climber, backcountry skier, and alpine climber. So connecting with that market and with that segment of people was really easy because I am one of those people. That allowed me to scale quite rapidly into that market because I knew all their pain points. I was already well respected in that industry. People already knew me. And then, when I positioned myself, hey, as I'm the life insurance guy for mountain sports enthusiasts, I got so much business from that one specific niche that I realized I should have just been doing this niche all along. Even though I still picked up business from what I'll call the general market, this niche then allowed me to scale my brokerage to what it is to this day, which leads me to mistake number 3, and that was ignoring social media. So here's the thing. Back in 2016, 2017, 2018, I was going after the business owner market, and I just had this idea in my head that like, hey, business owners aren't on TikTok. They're not on Facebook. They're not on YouTube. They're not on all these other places. So I'm not even going to try social media. There's no point. I'm just going to do, traditional cold calling, door knocking, seminars, wine and dine, networking, meet and greets, etc. And I did that for years and years and years. And I wasted so much time because I could have been building my online presence and my credibility and all my leverage through that, but I didn't. I ignored social media and I just said, this is just another thing, or it's not where my market is going to be, or, people don't want to find financial advisors or insurance brokers online, when in fact, that is not the case at all. Not only do I get family market leads from social media, I get actually 100% of my leads from social media. I don't do any networking. I don't do any events. I don't meet any clients face-to-face now. 100% of my clients are online. And by the way, yes, I work mostly in the family market. However, I still get business owner clients. In fact, in the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 cases come in, one of them quite large. One client had, I think, $9 million in their corporation. We're looking at like $125,000 to $150,000 whole life insurance policy. So, and by the way, he found me on YouTube. So he, looked up some videos about life insurance, found me on YouTube, reached out. We're working through that case right now. Will it go through? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. However, business owners are still on YouTube. They're still on Facebook. They're still on Instagram. They're still on TikTok. They're still on all of these places. Do not sleep on social media and think that people are not using it, because they absolutely are. And I wish that I would have started earlier on and I would have had a way larger presence online than I do now. Which leads me to mistake number 4, which is lack of consistency. Here's the thing. I've been in the insurance industry since 2014, and I've done probably every form of marketing that you can think of. I did door-to-door sales. I did cold calling. I tried to write blog posts. I went to networking events. I joined BNI chapters. I, put brochures out. I put flyers out. I tried to put videos out on YouTube in 2017 and then again in 2020. I did every single form of marketing. However, with every single one of them, I was never consistent. I would try something, it wouldn't work, and then I would say, nah, this doesn't work for my business. I would write some blog posts, try and optimize the SEO, and I'd say, nah, I'm not on the number 1 page. I'm not ranked number 1 on Google. This doesn't work. I would put out 20 to 30 YouTube videos. It wouldn't work. Nah, YouTube doesn't work. It's not for me. I would try cold calling. I would make a few hundred calls. Doesn't work. Okay, not for me. I would try a few seminars, which actually seminars is the one thing that did work for me. Luckily, I was somewhat consistent with that. However, I didn't scale it to the point that I could have because, again, I wasn't consistent. I tried something for a while and then I gave up. So for you, I would say pick one thing and commit to doing it, not for a day, a month, or a year, or even a decade. Whatever you decide to do from a marketing standpoint, commit to doing it for the rest of your life. So whatever it is, if you want a cold call, great. Cold call every single day for the rest of your life. If you want a door knock, great. Door knock every single day for the rest of your life. If you want to build an online life insurance brokerage or an online advisory practice, great. Get in front of the camera like I am right now and commit to doing that and learning it for the rest of your life, and be consistent with it, because anything can work. You just need to put in the time, learn, adapt, and evolve, figure out the system, create perfection from it, and it will work. Number 5 biggest mistake that I ever did, and I'm actually just learning this right now in 2025, is I focus solely on one product. So here's the thing. I've been able to scale my brokerage to 6 figures, and I scaled it with one product, just life insurance. So here's the thing. Yes, people say that you should maybe focus on one product. However, in our business, you should be, if you want to be in this long term, and I'm realizing this now, you should be creating some type of advisory practice where you're offering multiple different services, because it's really the relationship that we're gathering, not necessarily the product sale. So once you build that relationship and you have that repertoire or reputation, pardon, not repertoire, once you have that reputation with that client, now all of a sudden you have not only your additional products, so CI, DI, life, also investments that you should be offering to them as well. Even if you don't do investments yourself, you should be referring it out to someone else who can manage it, and you can manage that relationship, because at the end of the day, that's really all we're managing. This is actually something, like I mentioned, that I'm realizing now in 2025. We have hundreds, maybe thousands of clients all just on low-value term life insurance. And now I'm starting to build out the systems where I can actually offer them additional services and other things like investments. However, I should have been doing this from the beginning, and I would probably have a much larger practice than I do now. Instead, I just focused on one specific product just because it was easy and I valued my own time at that time. However, now I'm seeing it would have been better used if I actually would have offered all those other additional products and been able to, again, use the relationship that I built with those individuals to have a more profitable customer. Which leads me to the final mistake, which is mistake number 6, and that is I didn't work hard enough. And this one is a little bit hard to reflect on and to think about, because sometimes you can think that you actually do work hard. You can think that, hey, I'm getting a lot of things done and I'm doing things and I'm in front of the computer and I have my email open and I have all these other things open. And what I've realized throughout the years, especially as I've scaled multiple different companies. Now I started the software company Policy Stream. I have Affinity Life. I have the Advisor Institute. I have all these different projects that I'm running now. I have multiple different YouTube channels. As I go throughout the years from 2015 to 2018 to 2020, 2022, 2024, and 2025, I am starting to see the potential that I have and how much time I wasted in my early years. I am incredibly efficient now in my work. I'm very productive, and I can see the level that I personally hold myself to now and that I can operate at now. However, in my early years, I thought that just doing things meant I was working hard. Hey, I'm going to business events. Hey, I'm checking my email. I'm waking up early to look at these things, but I wasn't actually doing consistent work and effective work that drove my business forward. I was just being there. I was just trying to do things, but they weren't actually driving my business forward. They were useless things in my business that really didn't generate income within my business. And so this is one is a little bit difficult, because it's like, how do you actually determine if you're working hard in your business or not? Now, one of the things that I would suggest that you do if you are looking to try and become a better, more efficient, hard worker in your business is read the book. It's called The One Thing, and I can't remember who actually wrote it. Gary, he's from the Keller Group. He's actually a realtor. This actually drastically helped me work harder in my business, because basically it talks about doing, instead of, creating a to-do list every day of, 10 or 15 things, what is the one hardest thing, but also the one most important thing that is going to be the biggest contributor of success to drive business forward, and only do that one thing. For example, in my business right now, today's Tuesday. So Monday, my one thing was write all the scripts for all the videos. That's all I had to do. Of course, I did other things. I replied to emails. I had client meetings. I worked out. I still did a whole bunch of other things. Today, my one thing is record 4 videos. This is video number 3. I have one more video. This is the number one thing that's going to drive my business forward. Focus on doing the one most important thing each and every day, and eventually you will drive business forward. A couple other things I just want to note about this working hard mistake that I made. Another thing that I did too is I was just waiting for something to happen. I was waiting for an opportunity to come up, waiting for an email to come in, waiting for somebody to save me. At the end of the day, No one is going to save you but yourself. You are the one that needs to make it happen. You are the one that needs to drive business forward. Nothing is going to magically come in and save you. It's not like out of the blue, someone's going to, hey, I have this huge $1 million deal that I've just been waiting to give to you. You need to make it happen. You need to figure out what you need to do to drive your business forward. And then from that, you need to execute on it every single day, 5 to 7 days a week, and consistently do that over a long period of time to generate results. Now that you know my top 6 biggest mistakes that I made in growing my insurance brokerage, click here to watch a video of how you can now turn that growth into consistency and build a predictable income within your insurance brokerage. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys have any questions, comments, just drop them below. And as always, if you guys are enjoying this, all I ask is give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.